What's up YouTube and Amazon? Jefferson here with the starters page, and I got another WizGear product to show you guys. This one is the WizGear magnetic air vent mount. This is actually going to be pretty interesting. I've owned a good amount of WizGear mounts already, ranging from the mini mount to the one that has a neck on there. I'll link everything in the description box below so you guys don't have to worry about it. And when I saw this one, I was honestly skeptical about it just because I've actually owned, I think roughly 5 different air vents just to find out that they actually do not work. And this guy actually took me by surprise. I was shocked on how well it actually was able to handle the road and how crazy it actually held onto the air vent itself. So there's actually a few things I want to point out on here before I show you guys a road test. There is a knob right here that you're able to actually loosen up to articulate the head, or you could just tighten it up to actually keep the head from moving around, which is really nice. You do want to adjust that to your own preference. This also has a rotating head, which is really nice. Once you clip it onto the air vent, it rotates, which is actually really useful, to be quite honest. In this position right here, the cool thing about this is that it actually stays onto your air vent, which is super crazy. I do want to point out, once it goes on there, don't get me wrong, you're able to still move it around up and down, but when you move it side to side, it actually stays on there snug. It's really interesting, but it actually does a really good job at keeping it in its own position, which is really nice. You're gonna have 2 slits right here. One is actually bigger than the other. The way you wanna actually mount it is actually where the bigger spacing is. You wanna have that pointed up and down compared to the spot where it's actually tighter. You want that to be left and right. So you want the tighter spot horizontal compared to the looser spot vertical. I'll show you guys how this looks like when we install it in the car. But yeah, all in all, I'm super surprised. You guys can't go wrong with this. And I was told by one person that the magnet on here is really strong to the point where it would actually remove the whole mount. And don't get me wrong, I actually believe him because all my WizGear magnetic heads are really strong, but I never had that issue. So I'm not too sure how he mounted his, but yeah, just make sure you guys have that tighter spot in the slot of the air vent, because if you don't, then it would obviously make sense and it will just slide off. So yeah, with that said, I highly recommend this. This is quite shocking. It's very minimal. It doesn't take a lot of room in the car, and depending on what kind of phone you guys may have, this might actually be a better suit for you. When you mount this in your air vent, it would also cool down your phone, which you're able to still use in a very hot day. So, you know, it just really depends on you. It's all preference, but this air vent is actually super awesome. So with that said, enjoy the road test. I am in the car with Paul. So he's actually gonna be the driver just because I will be videotaping him while driving. All right, so the proper way to actually install this is there's going to be like 2 slits. This is the bigger side, and then there's gonna be a thinner side right there. You wanna make it where it's on the thinner spacing. So you wanna have it where it's like this instead of like that. Push it in like so, and then you want to push it all the way in, and then that's it. It's very, very simple. That's all you have to do. And then I want to show you guys real quick, when you guys install it, it's obviously your air vent will still be able to articulate slightly, not too much, but slightly. It's gonna stay on there, which is pretty neat. If you were to install it the other way where it's bigger, it's going to, you see how it moves around a lot? And then the air vent itself is not actually moving a lot. That's what would happen if you guys install it with the looser side. And if you were to install it on the thinner side, this is what would happen. See, so it obviously just goes up and down, but it won't go side to side, which is really nice. He's gonna use my iPhone 5S to just install on there. All right, so we're just gonna drive around and see how well this actually operates. So Paul's actually driving crazy right now. If you guys are wondering why the camera isn't shaking a lot, it's because I'm using the MCO Plus video stabilizer in the car. It's actually compact enough where you're able to functionally use it in a car, which is really awesome. Okay, so far everything seems to actually stay on tag. I'm super surprised just because, as I mentioned before, I've never had a really good car mount that plugs into the air vents. Here's gonna be a wide turn, guys. Wow, okay, so that was a pretty wide turn and it had a sharp and abrupt end and it actually stayed on there, which is, all right guys, I'm super surprised. I am super surprised.